This video will be philosophizing on creative thinking. Creative thinking engages effectivenesses and or efficiencies existing prior to one's some knowledge concerning some facts to be able to engage some creative conducts in association to the prior existing creative thinking processes, evaluating various distinct ideas in association to the meaningful similarities one can logically connect to make sense of complexity within a future direction of desired meaningful effect, drawing from distinct regions of the brain called the orbital prefrontal cortex, connected to various other areas of the brain, important for also the functions of the limbic system that engage emotional regulation in association to some positive, meaningful emotions, more meaningful to the distinct creative domain-specific perception, action, or behavior an individual is engaging, concerned with the values one holds and is cultivating in relation to the creative thinking processes evaluated in association to one's own values in moment-to-moment experiences, prioritizing some distinct component parts and processes of one's experience to emphasize meaningful component parts and or processes more across distinct meaningful units of analysis, which improve the effectivenesses and or efficiencies, yet in contrast to some other less meaningful allowance for more effectivenesses and or efficiencies, while decreasing meaningfully the ineffectivenesses and inefficiencies within one's moment-to-moment experiential creative thinking processes, engaging more meaningful conducts instead of simply thinking about it, allowances for one to engage more creativities, as imagination is distinct from creativity, as one engages more of a daydreaming process or mind wandering with creative introspections, yet does not engage in the conducts to actually allowance for creativity until those creative conducts are engaging the conduct one is connecting direct perception to self-causations in some meaningful effect. As to mean it is only creative in association to the imagination that connects to a conduct related to the internal and or external conditions of the self, connecting the self to surrounds within the voluntary conducts one engages, prior existing inputs from sensors one perceives within direct and or indirect precepts, to the voluntary outputs to the external surrounding world, to connect the introspections of one's internal worlds to the external world surrounding the self in the external world environment. One can engage more mobile perception, action, and or behavior, connecting the effectivenesses and or efficiencies of one's thought, allowancing for one to evaluate the conducts which work, meaning that creativity is more concerned with the effectivenesses and or efficiencies in relation to one's conducts, instead of merely thinking one is engaging in effectivenesses and or efficiencies within one's own perception, action, or behavior, yet is not affecting any sort of meaningful change or effect, allowancing only the positive, meaningful effects to constitute creative thinking amongst creative conduct in association to those prior existing self-causations. That's all I want to say for this video. Hope you have an awesome one. Keep living those up.